All right, here we are in the new digs. This is the kitchen. Anyway, here doing a album review. Keep it family friendly, because YouTube has a problem with some more spicy content. Anyway, this is a trio. I've been doing a lot of trios lately. Anyway, it's a trio. They started as a band in '78. Not really all that popular. Three young lads from Manhattan. Okay? They were a four-piece at one time. They had another guitarist. He had left. They also had a woman drummer. I think her name was Kate Schellenbach. She went on to have her own, be part of her own band too in the 90s called Luscious Jackson. So this band predominantly was a hardcore band. They came to fame mostly around '83 with their EP single Cookie Puss. Now, Cookie Puss was just pretty much a crank call to a Carvel. Now, who is this band? This band is Adam Yauch, MCA, the King Ad Rock, Adam Horowitz, and Mike Diamond, the Beastie Boys. Okay, I've been into this band since they started. Their first album didn't come out till '86. They were signed by Def Jam, predominantly because they had the look. They were white, they rapped, they sold, but they were good, man. They were top notch. I actually saw them in concert. We'll get to that in a minute. But they have 8 albums. I'm only ranking 7 because one is just an instrumental mixtape kind of album. There's no lyrics, there's no bars in it. So I'm sticking to the albums that have the samples, have the real instruments, and have the raps. So let's start our countdown. The countdown will be their last one that they put out in 2011, and that would be the Beastie Boys Hot Sauce Committee Part 2. Is it a good album? Yes, it is. All of their albums are good, some better than others, but this is number 7 for me. It's got a really good song. Make Some Noise is really good. That's the lead-off track. They have a song on here, the Lisa Full Force Routine. That's kind of funny. Too Many Rappers. That's the song with Nas. That's a bang. That's a good one. But anyway, that's number 7. That was their last album because Adam Yauch, MCA, passed away, I believe in 2012. Very sad. The Chinese probably took him out because they didn't like what he was doing with the Buddhists. Anyway, in Mongolia, I'm not going to get, oh, well, I shouldn't say that. This video will probably get taken down for that. But there you go. Anyway, and then next up is their debut album. It wasn't their biggest, they had a really big song prior to this called She's On It, which I think was on the Crush Groove soundtrack. But anyway, this album came out in 1986, and it was their debut album, License to Ill. Very good album. Great album. Just something real different. Sampled a lot of Zeppelin, sampled Black Sabbath, all kinds of cool stuff on here. Rhyming and Stealing, She's Crafty. One of my favorite songs on there, Hold It Now, Hit It. Paul Revere, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, has Kerry King from Slayer on guitar. I saw them on this tour. I saw them at the Ritz in New York City in December of 1986. Yes, December of 1986. The album had just come out. Murphy's Law was the opening band, another hardcore act. Okay, so that was number 6 album, their debut. Number 5 for me would be 1992's Check Yo Head. What's famous on here? Of course, Funky Boss, Pass the Mic, and What You Want. This was a bit of a change up because this is when they started embracing that, they could play instruments. Mike D on drums, MCA on bass, King Ad Rock on guitar. So they actually went more back to their hardcore roots. This is a good album. They sample a lot. They start sampling a lot of old time stuff, 70s and 80s jazz and funk with their own music playing. So that was what was cool. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 4 for me would be their album that came out in the aughts, 2004's To the Five Boroughs. And it has on here, check it out. Right Now's good. Triple Trouble's really good. And Open Letter to New York City, really cool stuff. See, it's got the whole pen. I like how they actually put the picture of the Trade Center on there, because this came out in 2004. Then we all know what happened in 2001. So this is good. They do a lot of different samplings on here for the time. They tried to stay more relevant. This was less instrument friendly, more sampling, beat friendly, where they were using what was popular at the time. Also stuff like, like what Mims and groups like that and Little John were using. You could hear it in the actual samples they were using and synthesizers. But that would be number 4 for me. For number 3 for me, of course, is Ill Communication. This came out in '94. This brought the Beastie Boys into a whole other level. They went from, it was weird. They just really shot through the stars. This proved to them that they were an actual cool rock band and not just some weird white boys doing rap. No, they were their own thing with this. This had Sabotage, Sure Shot, Get It Together. This is a very interesting album. Very interesting sample album. Once again, this is kind of an extension of Check Your Head, except one notch better. Right here, '94's Ill Communication. Let's see if there's got any pictures of the band in here. See, got a picture of Mike D on drums. What else we got here? It's King Ed Rock, guitar. Looks like some weird Tree of Life thing. Because MCA, he was a very spiritual dude. He was very involved with the Buddhists. And yeah, this is MCA on a stand-up bass. Anyway, that's my number 3 album. Now my number 2 album is 1998's Hello, Nasty. Isn't it a crazy cover? It's like in some sort of sardine can. So, another great album, Intergalactic. One of the best songs ever. 3 MCs, 1 DJ. You gotta listen to this. Unite, Dr. Lee, PhD. That's Lee Scratch Perry. Dr. Lee. He does like a guest song on here. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is a very odd album. Very, very interesting sonically strange, but some good stuff on here. And of course, number 1 was their underacclaimed, underappreciated sophomore album that everybody hated, but everybody in the industry or who loved music loved, and that would be Paul's Boutique. Okay? When this was a huge flop. Only recently have they come to discover the pure genius behind the album. This album was the first time that these guys, they took it to a whole other level of samples. It wasn't just your generic, beat where they just sampled the backbeat of Walk This Way. No, these guys dove deep into the record collections, dove deep and put out a classic album. 1989's Paul's Boutique is my number 1, like many others, but I've always liked it, so I'm not jumping on some bandwagon. So there you go. Number 1, Paul's Boutique. Number 2, Hello Nasty. Number 3, Ill Communication. Number 4, To the Five Boroughs. I like this a lot. Number 5, Check Your Head. Number 6, their debut album, License to Ill. And lastly, number 7, The Hot Sauce Committee, Part 2, even though there wasn't a Part 1. Have a good day. Leave your comments below, like and share, or just give me a thumbs down and an FU. It's all good.